Hello and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah, and we have a fabulous show for you today. We're going to learn a few things about insurance. We're also checking in with the Wisconsin State Fair, which is going to be coming sooner than you know it. And right now we're going to learn a little bit about Focus Board Shop. So if you like board sports, this is your segment. We're chatting with the owner, John Doby, who most people know as Doby, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So thanks for joining us. Okay, so we were just chatting before we started about this shop. You have a couple of locations. We'll tell you where they are in just a minute. But first, talk to us a little bit about the products that you sell at Focus.
Yeah, so we specialize in snowboards, skateboards, longboards, and then like all the clothing and shoes that kind of go with those. And then we're the premier dealer for Burton, Never Summer, Sector 9 longboards, and our skateboard selection is kind of always changing just depending on kind of what kids are into.
Okay, so I heard a lot of boards, of course, in there, and some really great brands that I'm sure people who are into this sport know a lot about.
Yeah.
I want to share with some folks too. Now, as a business owner, I'm sure that you have taken just a lot of special interest in making sure that your shop really sets itself apart from others. What do you think really makes Focus special?
I think the big thing with us is when people think, about going to a skateboard shop or a snowboard shop, maybe they're intimidated that they need to know more about it or they need to kind of be already like a part of the culture. And our whole thing is trying to set up an atmosphere and an environment that's not the case. You can come in and whether you've been into it for 10 years, you're going to find the products that you want, or if you're just starting out and you don't really have any clue, well, we can help you kind of find the stuff you're going to need.
That's really great. Well, I think it's good that you touched on that because I think somebody may be watching at home who isn't into this yet. I mean, you have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I can absolutely, relate to that, having sort of an intimidation level, thinking that you do have to kind of go in walking the walk and talking the talk. But that's what you guys are there for, right? Is to kind of help educate as well.
Yeah, that's what our staff's there for, is to make sure that they're educated and that you don't have to worry about that and be intimidated. So you can. Everybody start like we all started, so.
So along those same lines then, do you offer any kind of lessons or anything like that?
Yeah, and then, so we just started a new like intro to skateboarding and longboarding lesson that's just like a half-hour Sunday lesson at 11:30. That's just super basic, pushing around. And then we also do like 1 hour private lessons pretty much at all the skate parks too.
Oh, great.
And that we've been doing for years, so.
I think that's smart. You don't necessarily want to, at least on my age, get out there and hit the skate park without any lessons.
Yeah, you get a little pointers goes a long way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, show off this longboard, too.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really know before we got started what a longboard was.
This is probably like my oldest longboard.
Okay, so basically what makes it different from a skateboard is just that it's longer,
yep.
right?
So this is like your transportation side of skateboarding. Like nowadays, like a modern skateboard's really built for tricks, and this is really like cruising. So the nice thing is like anybody we have parents come in and the mom gets a longboard and the kid gets a skateboard and they can all go around and push.
It's a little more user-friendly for the beginners, right?
For sure.
So that's great. Okay, now let's talk really quick about your background now as a snowboarder and skateboarder both, right?
I started skating when I was maybe 8th grade, and then that winter, all my friends were snowboarding, so I started snowboarding, and as soon as I started snowboarding, knew I wanted to be a snowboarder, and that's kind of all I wanted to do, so I kind of competed a little bit and got on a low-level sponsorships and stuff, but knew I wasn't ever going to be a pro snowboarder. So this is kind of my way to stay involved in snowboarding kind of forever. So
good for you.
Keep me
well,
attached.
That's great.
Yeah.
Help share your passion with others as they get introduced to the sport.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go, I want to make sure we chat a little bit about where your stores are. You've got one on the east side and one on the west side. Do you want to kind of give us a landmark?
Yep, the east side, that's our original shop. We've been there for 12 years. We're right by the Best Buy and the PetSmart. And then our new shop on Mineral Point Road, we're right next to CUNA Mutual, down a little from the mall. So we're pretty close to both malls now.
That's great. So you've got great locations both on the east side and the
easy
west
to
side.
get to.
I think it's wonderful to meet you and be able to have an owner who is very passionate about the sport, but also who understands that there's a little bit of an intimidation factor there, and to provide those lessons and just help and support for people who are starting. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, we just want to have like a welcoming atmosphere. So
that's great. Well, you've been a joy to chat with. This is Doby, owner of Focus Board Shop, again, east side and west side of Madison. We've got more talk of the town, maybe a good segue. We're talking about insurance after the break, so stick with us. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. As promised, we're discussing insurance, and we're going to find out how you can quote your boat. I love a good rhyme to start off a segment. This is Laura Beck-Nielsen with Laura Beck-Nielsen Agency, who is with Farmers Insurance. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to learn a thing or two, but first of all, tell us a little bit about this. How do you get into a career in insurance?
Well, I've been in sales forever, and what I did learn is that I love helping people, but I just wanted to be captain of my own ship again, if you will.
Yes.
So it's a great opportunity to own my own future and have a nice long-term career I'm in charge of
Absolutely.
while helping people.
Yes, and you worked in a fabulous pun related to boats, being the captain of your
Leave
own
it to
ship.
me to do that.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's
I get
fun.
to weather my own storms.
Oh my
I
gosh.
got them all.
I could hang out with you all day. This is great. I want to let people know where you are, but you're in the Atwood area on Winnebago Street.
Yep.
That's a great spot. Why did you choose that place?
So we lived nearby on the other side of East Washington, and actually my dog, Iggy Pup, needed major surgery, and we just found the whole Atwood area just came out of the woodwork. Everyone from Bad Dog Frida Pet Shop to Tex Tubbs all pitched in and said, hey, you know, we heard about Iggy Pup and we want to help with a surgery fund. So I mean, it was an overwhelming response of community, and literally they helped my dog go from 36 pounds to a 60-pound healthy hound. And to this day, people still ask about him, and we thought, this is a community we need to reinvest back into because they're so great.
Wow.
So we live here, and we have an office here too.
What a great story. That's Madison. That's really sweet.
I know,
What
it's
a
good.
great community. I want to make sure that we talk about the Quote Your Boat promotion that's running. Share that with us.
Sure. So I prefer boat owners as clients. I'm originally from Door County, grew up near water, and actually Farmers gives discounts on our homeowners insurance to boat owners. So I thought, what a fun time of year to get people to try me out, challenge me with a boat quote, and I'll reward you with even more quotes on additional personal lines for your home. So quote your boat. And
Quote your boat.
make it simple and fun, and
Yeah.
a great way to earn some new business.
Well, it can't hurt, right? You only stand to save money, so I think that's great.
Yeah, or potentially even get better protection. So, for
yeah.
example, I have a client who thought that they had proper boat insurance through their homeowner's insurance, and they had a claim on their boat, and it counted against their home policy and raised their home insurance rates and caused a different kind of insurance history than they're comfortable with. So it's amazing how people think they might have everything they need, but when we take a good look at it and compare options, it might even be just as simple as getting the proper protection and protecting themselves better than they realize that.
No, that's a really important point, because that's one of those things you don't want to find out after you need the insurance, right?
Get the peace of mind ahead of time
Yes.
instead of backtracking and trying to patch up a problem.
So quote your boat for comprehensive boat insurance.
Yeah, there you
okay,
go.
I'm
Yeah.
hired. Let's see if I can work with this lady.
Good
We're having fun.
buzzword.
Yeah, so let's reiterate again, like why, okay, obviously there's homeowners insurance, there's boating insurance. Why not motorcycles? Why boats specifically is passionate for you?
Sure. I think for one thing, maybe I can relate to boat owners a little bit better than I can motorcycle riders, but also we tend to give really great discounts on homeowners insurance for boat owners. So it's kind of a win-win that, you know, if you have a boat, chances are you're going to get a better quote with the homeowner's policy as well.
Yeah.
And just somewhere along the line, some life math scientists, we call, you know, actuarial scientists, they figured out somehow that boat owners tend to be more responsible than motorcycle riders.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that part, but basically I think that's why we give them a better discount.
Yeah, well, those actuaries know what they're talking about. Real quick, we got to go, but I want to make sure you show off this fabulous prize
so
you've got.
if you quote your boat with me, we've got some great prizes. You get this boat tote, 2 beach towels, a water bottle, floating keychain. actually a solar-powered charger for your mobile devices.
Nice.
A floating, an emergency light, which is pretty cool, and a floating Bluetooth speaker.
Wow,
as
lots
well
of
as
good
a-
stuff.
Yeah, $50 gift certificate to West Marine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So the more quotes you have with me, the more chances you have to win.
Well, you're just a joy to chat with. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us today. Quote Your Boat with Laura Beck-Nielsen with Farmers Insurance. Stick with us. We've got more Talk of the Town coming up right after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are talking about an event now that a lot of you, I'm sure, are looking forward to. I know I am. We're talking about the Wisconsin State Fair, and it is going to be upon us before you know it. So joining us to chat a little bit about what we can expect this year is Christy Chuckle, the Communications Director with the fair. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So lots to talk about, but I want to
Yes.
make sure we get to everything. Now, surprisingly, there's already great deals on sale for the fair now. I wouldn't have known. So
Yes.
tell us about that.
Right now we have tickets on sale for only $6. So normally at the fair they're $12 at the gate. You can get them for $6 on our website, wistatefair.com. They're also at Century Foods, Festival Foods, Bank Mutual offices, and that only runs until June 30th. So we really want people to take advantage of that.
Yeah, a great deal for buying early, but $12 is not even a lot to ask for. So what a great deal, $6 on the website and some of those great locations. Now, just so you know, the fair is August 3rd through 13th, so plenty of time to get your tickets
Yes.
and look forward to some great events. But let's talk about what everyone wants to know about, right, is entertainment. What is the entertainment lineup this year? Are you guys already locked and loaded?
We are. We just really finished up announcing those main stage shows this year. So we kick off the first weekend. We have our Retro Futura show, which is an awesome 80s throwback show with Howard Jones and a bunch of other great bands. And then we go right into John Mellencamp. So that'll be a great concert for us. It's that first weekend of the fair. And then we have Kip Moore coming for those country lovers. So he'll be there the first weekend. And then the last weekend of the fair, Alan Jackson is coming as well. So two
great.
big country shows. I Love the 90s tour will
Oh
be
my
back
gosh.
again this year.
Yeah.
So lots of fun acts.
That's great. I like how you kind of bookend it with
Yes.
country for folks.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about fun entertainment, of course, and some new attractions, it seems like, every year. So what are some of the highlights that we can look
This
forward
year
to?
we have a big new attraction, literally. So it is called the Wonder Wheel. It's North America's largest traveling Ferris wheel.
Wow.
So we have our Spin City riding game area, very popular on the north side of the fair park. This will actually be on the west side of the park, so it's kind of a standalone attraction, but it is 15 stories high. And it has enclosed gondolas, so 6 people can fit in at a time. And it'll just be an absolutely fabulous attraction. Families can go on this ride. It'll have a breathtaking view of the city, of course. I'm really looking forward to that.
Wow, what an incredible way to enjoy the scene of the fair. I'm
Yes.
sure you can see just
See the
about
whole fair,
How
absolutely.
much fun. Oh my gosh, maybe not for those who are afraid of heights, but that sounds awesome. Of course, one of my favorite topics is fair food. So let's talk about what, I'm sure some of the classics are returning.
Yes.
And maybe some new ones too. So share with us what we've
Yeah,
got.
I can't tell you too much because, you know, we do a big announcement of all of
Yeah.
our new foods. Usually we have between 80 and 100 new foods a year.
Oh my
I can tell you there are some really crazy ones this year. I
Okay.
heard a rumor about cricket nachos.
Oh.
So that's all.
I'm not sure about that. Wow.
But also some really great new breakfast items, a lot of different hot dogs. That seems to be one of the themes this year. So I always look forward to the breakfast items because obviously we're there early, but a lot of people do come to the fair early and a lot of our vendors have breakfast. We open at 8 a.m. every day, so we encourage people to come on down and check that out.
Oh, I think that's great. And of course, maybe some classics like we
Yes.
love the cream
Cheese
puffs. So,
curds.
yes, all those good ones. Okay, so what about during the fair? So you mentioned that there's a great way to save half off on tickets on your website leading into the fair. Any ways to save during the fair?
Yes. Well, we have those $6 tickets through June, like I talked about. Right now, we also have deals on Spin City riding game tickets and Cream Puff 6-packs, and those lead right up basically to prior to the fair. Then during the fair, we have several days that have admission promotions. So we always, it's been a tradition for years to kick off with Wells Fargo $2 Day benefiting Hunger Task Force. So that's Thursday, August 3rd, and you just have to bring 2 non-perishable food items or make a cash donation at any of our entrances, and then you pay just $2 to get in. So it's not only a great way to save money, but it's also a great way to help a good cause and feed the hungry. So that's opening day. We have Kohl's Family Value Day again this year, so that's on the Monday of the fair. And on that day, adults get in for $5 and kids get in free. So it's a fabulous way to save. And then when you're at the fair, you can purchase one of our bargain books to save some money. We have a souvenir cup program that has free refills, or discounted refills, I should say. And then we also have, just lots of other ways to save while you're on the grounds.
Wow. Any other last closing tips? That's a lot to
I know.
get in, but anything
No,
else?
honestly, check out our website, wistatefair.com. We'll get the whole schedule up there soon. We've got a lot of the bands up there already. Don't miss the 30 free entertainment stages, even if you don't go to the main stage. And of course, we're on social media, so we have all the info up there.
Wow. Well, I look forward to it, and I may or may not take advantage of that cream puff 6-pack.
Yes, $15.
Awesome. This is Christy Chuckle again with the Wisconsin State Fair. So nice to see you.
You too.
We'll be back with more Talk of the Town after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I've got two pretty impressive guests here I'm excited for you to meet. This is Johnny Kolbeck and Vaughn Kotler, and they're with Badger Loop and the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So glad to have you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I can't wait to learn more about this. I got just a teeny little bit of information before we started, but this is a really fabulous thing you guys are doing. Now, Johnny, you're the operations director, and Vaughn, the electrical director for Badger Loop. And you're going to have to just talk to us a little bit about this. First of all, what is Hyperloop, and is it safe? I don't know much about this.
I can answer that one.
Yeah.
It's a new proposed means of transportation where you build a vehicle, you put it in a tube, and you evacuate all the air, and you send it through the tube so that you conserve as much energy as possible because there's no air friction. And so one of the dangers you're asking, is it safe? Well, if there were to be a puncture in the tube and all the air would try to rush back in, there's many different problems that you might face with this mode of transportation that others don't. So
Wow.
that's what we have to think about.
Yeah, but what a unique way to get through life, I guess, if this ever becomes a
Absolutely.
practical way of
Yeah.
transportation. Okay, so that's what Hyperloop is. Now, what's Badger Loop specifically, and what are you guys working on?
Yeah, so Badger Loop, we are a group here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Pretty diverse group as far as backgrounds, majors go. We're based in engineering and sort of that STEM technology field. But we do have, everyone from freshmen to PhD students working on things, everything from comm sci to political science. So a very diverse group that we're proud of. But what we're doing is we're all very passionate about technologies of the future, high-speed transportation, and really to contributing to that development of this Hyperloop technology that Vaughn talked about. So that idea that was proposed actually by Elon Musk back in 2013, we as a team have been around since 2015 when SpaceX announced this competition that they'd be sponsoring.
Okay.
And so what SpaceX did is they went out and they built this giant vacuum chamber, about $12.5 million, almost a mile long. It's like 3/4 mile, right in the middle of downtown LA. It's crazy. And then they released it to the world as a competition. And so over 700 people applied for this competition back in 2015. Badger Loop was fortunate enough to be chosen out of those top 120 to go compete. And in 2016, we competed at design competition, where we were really fortunate enough to take third place in the world for our pod design, which is pretty crazy when you think of we're one of the few predominantly undergrad teams competing against, the MIT graduate programs of the world and stuff. And then we actually went and built that pod, which designing a pod is one thing, but building a pod is an entire different challenge. And took it down to California last January to compete, where we ended up winning an innovation award for our pod design and getting to meet Elon Musk and having him sit in our pod, which was just remarkable. So that's what we've been so far, and we're continuing to compete in these competitions going forward.
Oh my gosh, what an incredible endeavor.
It's a
So
It's a lot
yeah.
to explain.
it
really
is. Yeah, no,
yeah.
you're doing great though in a short time. I really appreciate what you're doing. And I want to talk a little bit. You mentioned some of the challenges, but you said, okay, that you're designing this pod, but then you actually
Yeah.
have to create it physically. So talk to us about some of the challenges there.
Yeah, well, if you think the competition is going to be at the end of the summer, we were just at competition in January. So we designed a new pod and are now building it in a few short months. And part of the challenge is there's no template for the design, and you can't just go take it out onto the road and say, oh, well, is this going to work? It's kind of, you have to make sure you can fully test it so that it's safe and ready to go once you get there. So
And just to
Wow.
put a disclaimer, no people are riding in our pods yet,
Okay.
just for safety reasons. But yeah, it's
Good
still
to know. Good to
yeah,
mention.
exactly.
Do you think this is something that is ever going to be practical for use in everyday life? Is this our future?
Yeah, I mean, we see it, how far out in the future this becomes reality for Madison in particular is up for debate. But they're building Hyperloops right now over in Dubai, over in Southeast Asia, trying to do it on the West Coast. And it really is a technology that could impact the lives of Madison for sure, because these pods that we're talking about, they're projecting speeds of 500 miles per hour, 700 miles per hour. So when you're going far distances, I mean that's huge, and I think that's something that we should really pursue, or we are pursuing, I guess.
Wow. Well, you
No.
guys are up for a big challenge, that's for sure. Tell folks when the reveal was. I wanted to see a photo, but I don't get to
we
yet.
we can't share
when
it
is
yet.
it? When do you
So that
reveal?
is Saturday, June 17th, and that'll be from 3 to 4 p.m. Over at Engineering Hall on the UW's campus. And so we'll be revealing the pod to the public, showing, we'll have a bunch of interactive exhibits with our systems, how the things work, and you'll get a chance to talk to all the team members and really, come out and support a local team that's trying to do some incredible stuff here on campus and
Really good.
on the world stage too.
I told you these were impressive folks and well-spoken. Great job,
Thank
you
you
guys.
very much.
Thanks
Well, thanks
for
so
being
much for
here.
having
It's
us.
been
Yeah.
fun
Thanks for having
chatting
us.
with you, Johnny and Vaughn from Badger Loop. We've got more Talk of the Town coming up after the break, so stick around.